After an abysmal performance in the battle for Atlantis, Indiana basketball was back on home soil on Tuesday to take on Sam Houston State in the first game of December. Where has the time gone? It's already December. Indiana looking to have a little more fun than they did during Feast Week. Their opponent, Sam Houston, not the first president of Texas, Sam Houston State, the school, obviously. Let's go to Assembly Hall. It was a slow start for the Hoosiers, but they would get things going. In a moment, here we go. It's Malik Renew rocking the rim to tie the game up at 9. It was a great game for Renew, a double-double. Flash forward to the second half. Ball, the alley-oop to Renew. He throws it down. Indiana was in cruise control at this point. Renew had a few buckets early on, and this time he's dishing out the buckets. Finds Miles Rice. He says, I got my swagger back. After a tough tournament in Atlantis, he knocks down the three. He had double digits, and how about a good feeling here? Ja'Kai Newton, a tough finish for him. He has been on the shelf for quite a while, but he gets that bucket to go. Indiana's offense was fantastic in this one. They would win at 97-71. They did give up that bucket at the very end, but Mike Woodson didn't cut off that clip. Anyways, it's still a big win for the Hoosiers, and they have one non-conference game left before conference play begins. They take on Miami of Ohio this Friday at Assembly Hall at 7 o'clock.
Back here at Assembly Hall for game number 2 of non-conference play for Indiana. We take a look at some of the storylines around the Big Ten. Big Ten has done very well so far in the non-conference play, and obviously when you have Purdue that has won 28 consecutive non-conference games at Mackey Arena, that certainly helps.
No Zach Edey, no problem right now. Braden Smith, who is projected to be the player of the year in the Big Ten, showing why. In Michigan, Dusty May, we've talked about the transfers that were highly coveted. Dusty May just as good as a transfer over to Michigan, bringing in a new head coach for a team that always has had interesting pieces. Even last year when they were in the cellar of the Big Ten, they were an interesting team. See what he's able to cook up over in Ann Arbor this year.
Hoping to have similar success to what Penn State had last year with a first-year head coach. Tucker off the inbound, gets to the basket and scores. Bryson Tucker, such an interesting fit for IU this year as a two-way combo player. Eastern Illinois very quiet offensively in this second half, looking to change that, and Frooster knocks down a three. Well, I was about to say they were 3 of 14 in these first 8+ minutes of the second half, but Frooster said, Austin, hold on there. I'll knock down a three and change that. Galloway going the other way, tried to throw one down. Instead, that ball was blocked by Curtis. There was a foul in the middle of that, but Galloway went for the poster. Curtis said no, but got a little bit of Galloway's wrist as well.
I went through the left arm, it looked like, to try and block it. See the confidence there from Galloway. He's done that in transition several times, but to do that off the jump says, give me some space. I'll go right to the rack.
Galloway knocks down the first free throw. First time at the charity stripe today. Galloway was just 53% last year at the line. Bolies comes back in for Jacoby. Yeah, the size advantage, really seeing that in this second half. Just look at the way Ballo towers over Bolies. Bolies at 6'8", and Ballo a 7-footer. Galloway's second one is up a little bit short. And Baco trying to grab the rebound. Ball goes out of play. Both teams looking for the possession, but it will go back to the Panthers.
Yeah, that's the difficult thing for Eastern Illinois. They don't have a ton of height, and the guys that they do have that are taller, Bolies, for example, Cully, they're not necessarily scorers, which makes it really difficult to put multiple of them on the floor at the same time. The guard play is really what moves their offense. But unless you want to throw two guys who are more defensive-minded, it can be very difficult.
That ball went off of the foot of Shelton. And you mentioned the pressure it is on those three guards to score. And certainly the pressure mounting for Eastern Illinois as their deficit increases.
Just 10 points from outside of those three, Stapleton, Shelton, and Frooster, who combined for the rest.
Kale has 2 off the bench, and Jacoby has 8. Luke Goody in the corner. Now to Bryson Tucker into the lane, pulls up. Can't knock it down. And Baco grabs the rebound, puts it back up and in. 6th offensive rebound for IU on the day. And they're now leading by 17.
Looks like they took to heart what Mike Woodson said after that SIUE game about not getting beat on the offensive glass, especially Mackenzie and Baco again, that hustle to come in from outside to get the board.
Great defense from Galloway and Ballo. And Bacco ahead to Goody. Brings the ball down, sees he's behind the line, fires, and connects. Luke Goody for three, his second three-ball of the game. Indiana's lead now up to 20. Frooster trying to respond. Can't do so. Tucker the rebound. Galloway, clever pass. Goody on the other side. Can't get it to go. Ballo couldn't bring down the rebound as Tucker went up for it. That three went in. I feel like they would have brought the house down.
Well, that's what Goody brings. A guy who's a sharpshooter and can really step into his shot. That's the same shot he was practicing in pregame warmups when we were here watching. It was step in, shoot, catch, shoot. Very quick release, and we saw it there on the make and then the miss.
And Bacco checks out to a warm round of applause. Here is the Goody three that did go in. Ballo knew it on the other end of the floor. Put his hands up in the air. And Goody with that celebration. Last year off the bench, averaged just 6 points, but shot the three ball at 39%. As he gets the steal here, ahead to Galloway, clever pass to Tucker! Defense to offense, just like that. And Indiana's lead in the blink of an eye has gone up to 22.
My goodness, Austin. First the steal, the little clever flick on pass essentially from Galloway to find Tucker, and the freshman, it's his turn to jam one home. Just look at that, just a little tap almost on the side, no look from Galloway, and then Tucker getting up there.
Well, we figured this would be a back-and-forth game, just like last week for Indiana against Maryland, and Northwestern, a much more rested team after a bye week. It is proving they are no easy task for these Hoosiers. 24-17. Give you a quick scoring update before Northwestern kicks the ball back off. Only one score in the first quarter. That came with 44 seconds left. Justice Ellison had a 5-yard rushing touchdown. Cam Porter responded with an 8-yard rush, making the game 7-7. Miles Cross had a 7-yard touchdown catch on fourth down late in the second quarter. Jack Olson and Nico Radicic each had field goals in the final 90 seconds of the first half. Then Keyshawn Williams and A.J. Henning both with touchdown catches. Henning's with the last one, 38 yards. Ball's kicked up in the air, and it lands near the back of Indiana's end zone. It will be a touchback. And the Hoosiers will start this drive at the 25-yard line. It's been a game of cat and mouse today, Riley. We talked about how field position could matter. The wind, as you mentioned, you brought up a good point earlier, hasn't been as much of a factor in this second half, and Indiana has been able to throw the ball pretty well, especially those RPOs, which have been very dangerous today.
Yeah, they've been very successful with those RPOs, and I think the reason why Rourke struggled so much in the early going of the Maryland game last week, Austin, is because it was raining, couldn't really get a good grip on the ball. That's what forced those two early interceptions. He's been phenomenal today, though.
First down and 10. Rourke takes the handoff, hands it off to Justice Ellison, running right up the gut. Gets a solid gain of 6 or 7. The first runs, when Indiana has run the ball, the first time on drives, they've gone for like 6 or 7 yards almost every time. It's a good way to start the drive. Indiana today, 119 rushing yards, 243 passing yards. They came in averaging 302 in the air and 211 on the ground. Indiana is one rushing touchdown away from matching last year's total. Ellison still the running back, 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Rourke takes a snap in the shotgun, throws it over the middle. It's Keyshawn Williams on the crossing route. He's got enough for the first down to the 37-yard line. Devin Turner in on the tackle. 2:30 left in this third quarter. Clock continues to move, and Indiana continues to move down the field as well.
Yeah, Rourke's game is just so impressive to watch, Austin. Sometimes he drops back, 3-step drop, passes out. Sometimes he's good at those RPOs, right? And sometimes he can loft the long ball down the field. He is so impressive at the QB spot.
Trips left for Rourke. Out of the gun, claps, takes the snap, and gives it off to Ellison once again. This time not as successful as he is gobbled up right near the line of scrimmage. Brendan Flakes, the redshirt sophomore, in there on the tackle. 1:55 left in this third quarter. Indiana up by 7. They led by as much as 14. They went into halftime with a 17-10 lead. Both teams have added touchdowns in this third quarter. Rourke out of the shotgun. He's been there all day. Omar Cooper Jr., the lone receiver to the right, 3 receivers to the left for Rourke. Claps takes the snap, has Ellison, but this time it's Williams again on a crossing route. He has a blocker and now gets a first down and more, spinning his way across the 40, out to the 35, to the 30, 25, 20, trying to be dragged down, and Williams gets all the way to the 10-yard line. It was a play that looked like it would only get 10 or 15 yards, and Keyshawn Williams exploded. Could not be dragged down until Brendan Turner finally wrestled him to the ground, and the Hoosiers are back in the red zone.
Man, he has had himself a day, Austin. Keyshawn Williams. So you see that wide receiver screen set up there. A lot of traffic in front of Keyshawn Williams. He's able to get forward, turn on the jets, and get all the way down to the Northwestern 10.
Nobody could tackle him. It's almost like I tried tackling you, Riley. You just wouldn't go down. Tyson Lawton, the running back, gets a handoff, a delayed handoff at that, and runs up the middle. Not a very large gain by any means, as he maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
I appreciate that. I'll take that. That's a
it would take me, Andrew Hillsman, maybe Ian Plaskoff, a partridge in a pear tree to bring you, the former high school linebacker, down.
Oh, gosh, man. But here's the thing. Here's what's great about this Indiana offense, and particularly with the run game that set up the pass game, Austin. It does two things for you. Number one, it gives you more options on second down, especially third down. And then on top of that, it makes the defense respect the run game.
Indiana shifts a few tight ends over to the right. Lawton is to the right hip of Rourke, who claps, takes the snap. It's an RPO again, looking for the end zone. The pass is incomplete. Looking for Miles Cross. Cross was looking for a flag at the end, as was some of the Indiana fans stationed right behind the end zone.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really see too much contact there, Austin. I think running stride for stride with him there, obviously that's going to take us to the quarter break. But, yeah, just running stride for stride there, that's a good play. And Rourke just kind of rifled that one in there. I think, honestly, he had a step on him. He just couldn't hold on to the ball just off target on that pass.
So that'll do it for the third quarter. Indiana leading 24-7. They'll have a 3rd and goal after the break. Arguments.
Plays the full game.
Okay.
Connie plays Angry Birds for other than 4 backs. I don't know what else you need to see.
Votes.
Raise your hand for Paul Skeens. Raise your hand for Zach Wheeler.
And laughs.
Is there anyone who's nominating anyone who's not Otani or Lindor? Okay.
Brent Doyle.
No, it's not politics. It's the Baseball and Sabermetrics Club at IU.
I like talking baseball. I'm a baseball nerd, so it's just a good time.
With new advanced metrics like base running and extra bases taken, this club isn't just for any baseball fan. It's for the analytical mind who loves to absorb weird and wonky stats that some of us cannot even comprehend.
In those meetings, we talk about baseball. You know, we look at standings, free agents, just all the stuff. But we also learn about obscure things like draft and extra stuff like that.
The club met for its final meeting of 2024, handing out awards voted on by the participating members. The president of the club, Henry Thuss, organizes the weekly meetings and other events. The highlight of most meetings is guest speakers from all different parts of baseball zooming in to talk about the different aspects of their job. The most recent one, Mets TV director John DeMarsico.
It's always a little jarring to me when a batter makes contact with a ball and you get that little circle that pops on the screen. It's always, sometimes I lose the ball in the graphic, for lack of a better term.
There have been some great guest speakers overall. I think there's always been people that, we're interested to hear from. Getting a chance to hear some of the sports media side with John and then Lance Brzezowski from Marquee.
While this meeting was a reflection of the 2024 baseball season, plans were starting to come together for 2025.
We do an annual trip to an MLB game where we come together as a club. We go drive out. We don't know where we're going this year yet. We have some options we're going to vote on.
It's just another chance for people to meet and connect with other baseball diehards and share some laughs about the sport they love. For IU Sports Media, I'm Austin Platt.
They're all.
I knew you wouldn't have argued this before he became